Hello, I'm so glad you could join me for this ultimate comfort food dessert, chocolate banana bread pudding. I use an entire loaf of banana bread in this recipe. So let me get right into it by starting with the custard. I'll talk about the banana bread later, but first what I want to do is heat up 3 cups of milk because I'm going to use that hot milk to melt my chocolate, because at the heart of this bread pudding recipe is a chocolate custard. There we go. So I need to bring the milk to just below a simmer. There we go. And in the meantime, I'll get my chocolate ready. I've already measured my 120 grams of baking chocolate. Even though it's in chip form, it is chocolate. I prefer to use a semi-sweet chocolate, so anywhere in the 51 to 58%. It's a little milder because this is such a family-friendly, comforting dessert. You don't want too strong or bitter of a chocolate. I'll just set this aside for a second. How's my milk doing? Coming along. I'll make the egg base. So what I'm going to do is pour the hot chocolate milk onto the egg base. And this combination of egg and milk as a custard base is called a royale. So I'm using 3 whole eggs. And to that, I'll add my sugar and a little vanilla. Give that a whisk. Okay, let me bring that chocolate back in and check on my milk. Just needs a minute. All right. In goes the milk. Give this a little whisk just to dissolve, melt in the chocolate. There we go. Now I'll add a bit of the hot milk to the eggs just to even out the temperature. There we go. I suppose I could have used a ladle. And now that the egg mixture has warmed up, I can whisk it into the chocolate milk. This warm chocolate custard smells fantastic. But now let's talk about that banana bread. For this recipe, you need an entire loaf of banana bread. And if you're like a lot of people, when you have the right bananas, you make the banana bread and maybe you pop it in the freezer. This is a great use for that banana bread. But if you want to make a recipe, I've got 2 fantastic ones right here on the channel. My personal favorite is the go-to banana bread. I did a live and there's access to the full recipe. So once you have that banana bread baked, you need to cut it up into cubes. Just use a serrated knife, about 1-inch cubes, spread them on a baking tray, and you'll pop them in a 375 oven for about 10 minutes just to dry out the cubes. Then you're all set. I've got my toasted banana bread here, and I'm going to add it to the still warm custard. Oh, just that deliciousness of banana bread. I mean, banana bread on its own is amazing, but soaked in a chocolate custard and then baked, oh, it's incredible. And you definitely want to give this a good stir And you need to let this sit for about 10 minutes to allow the custard to soak into the banana bread. And because it is so tender, unlike regular yeast bread, when you're making a conventional bread pudding, you will find that this breaks down as you stir it. So over that 10 minutes, you can take care of whatever you need to around the kitchen, but walk by now and again and give the custard a stir, and then it'll be ready to bake. You can see how those pieces of banana bread have broken down a bit now that they've had a chance to soak up that chocolate. Beautiful custard. All right, now having your pan ready, it's time to bake. You can bake this in an oven-to-table dish. So a ceramic dish that you then leave it in the pan and scoop to serve. But it has to be able to fit into a larger pan. I'm using a springform pan. That way I can cut my bread pudding into wedges like you do a cake. I've greased the pan well, and I've lined the outside with foil just because this is such a liquidy custard. Unlike a cheesecake filling, which has a little more structure, I don't want it to leak outside the pan. So I'm going to pour all of this into my greased pan. There we go. And I should say, since I've toasted the banana bread cubes, I've turned down my oven to 350 Fahrenheit. And I've got a kettle with water just at a boil. Because this is a custard, you want to cook it gently. And so we're relying on a water bath, a bain-marie. That's another reason I wrap the pan in foil, is so not just the filling leaks out, but this water doesn't leak into the bread pudding. And I'll fill it up just beyond halfway. So that gentle heat of the moisture is absorbing the dry heat of the oven, which allows a gentle heat to cook through the custard without overcooking the outside before the inside has had a chance to set. And this takes about 50 to 60 minutes to bake. And you test the doneness like you do a cake. You insert a skewer in the center, and if it comes out clean of any loose custard, as opposed to crumbs, then you know your custard is baked. Once your chocolate banana bread pudding has cooled completely on the counter in its pan, and that can take, like a cheesecake, up to 2 hours, then you want to chill it. And like a cheesecake, chilling it overnight is ideal. You'll find it comes out easily from the pan, and you just give it a slice like a cake. Or if you've baked it in a ceramic dish, you can just have spoonfuls of it. Also, if you want to enjoy it warm, it reheats well. So take those leftovers and pop that in the microwave for a minute. You get that gorgeous, clean, cake-like slice, yet it is 100% bread pudding. That combination of chocolate and banana. Where's my fork? There we go. Soft and creamy. If you want to throw a sauce on it, a simple creme anglaise custard sauce, scoop of ice cream, or even a caramel sauce would be extra decadent. But really, this is one of those desserts where everything is built in to the dessert itself. Every single bite is delicious. I really hope you'll give this recipe a try, especially if you're craving one of those sort of comfort, easygoing desserts. This is the one to make, my chocolate banana bread pudding. I'll see you again for another Bake Along or Anna Cooks episode. Thanks for joining me. This is so comforting. It makes me think of sitting on the couch under a blanket with a cozy sweater and fuzzy socks and eating this dessert.